Hi friends, today we're going to look at dividing by one-digit divisor. This corresponds with lesson 9.2 in our book. First thing we need to review is the three different ways that I can write out a division problem. So way one is illustrated here, where I have a dividend divided by a divisor equals a quotient. My second way is having my house here, so I have a dividend is on the inside divided by a divisor equals a quotient. My third way looks like a fraction. I have my dividend on top divided by a divisor equals a quotient. So I have three different ways to write that out. So let's take a look at my example over here of writing out 764 divided by 3. So let's take 764 as our dividend. So I'd have 764. I'm going to divide that number by my divisor, which is 3. That's way number one. Way number two, I can have a dividend on the inside of my house. So 764 divided by my divisor of 3 on the outside. And my third way, again, is looking like a fraction. So I have my dividend of 764 on top, and I'm dividing that by my divisor on the bottom. Those are three different ways that I can write out a division problem. Alright, next thing I'm going to take a look at are the steps to success for dividing. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to see how many groups of 6s can fit into the first place value on the left here, so into this 9 or 900. So how many 6s can I group into 9? Well, I know that I can fit one group of 6 into 9. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply 6 times 1. When I multiply 6 times 1, I get 6. So I'm going to subtract 6 from 9. 9 minus 6 is 3. Next thing I have to do is I have to bring down my 8. I'm going to make an arrow, and I'm bringing down my 8. Now I'm going to see how many groups of 6s can go into 38. Well, I know that 6 times 6 is 36, so there's 6 groups of 6 that can go into 38. Then I'm going to multiply 6 by 6 is 36. I'm going to subtract 36. 38 minus 36 is 2. Then I'm going to have to bring down that 4 again. That's going to give me 24. Now I'm saying how many times or how many groups of 6 can go into 24? Well, 4. 6 times 4 is 24. That gives me 0. I can also check my answer to see that I have the right answer. I can check my answer by taking my quotient, 164, and I can multiply it by 6. When I take 164 multiplied by 6, you can see that I get 984. So I know my answer is right. Alright, let's take a look at another example problem. This time I have 408 divided by 7. So let's take a look at how many groups of 7 can go into 4. 7's bigger than 4, so 0 groups of 7 can go into 4. So now I'm going to add my next place value in. So I'm going to be looking at not 4, but this time I'm going to look at 40. So how many times how many times, sorry about that, how many times does 7 go into 40? Well, 7 times 5 is 35. So notice this time I'm placing my 5 above my 0. So I'm saying how many times does 7 go into 40? So that 0 is where my 5 is going to go. Now, the same step, 7 times 5 is 35. So I am now subtracting 35. I end up with 5. My next step says that I need to bring down. So I'm going to bring down my 8. Now I have, how many times does 7 go into 58? Well, 7 times 8 is 56. So I'm now going to subtract 56. I have 2. So I have 2 left over. So when I have leftovers, I'm going to make it into a fraction. So I have 2 left over out of 7. So my final answer is 58 and 2/7. And don't mind the noise in the background, I'm sorry, that's my basset hounds playing with each other. Alright, so my final answer for 408 divided by 7 is 58 and 2/7. Alright, now we're going to have a problem that you try. So our problem that you try is going to be 565 divided by, sorry about that, the problem that you're going to try is 565 divided by 5. So you can pause the video and try this problem out on your own. Alright, let's see how we did here. I'm going to group, how many times does 5 go into 5? How many groups of 5 goes into 5? 1. 5 times 1 is 5. I'm going to subtract that. So I end up with 5 minus 5 is 0. My next step tells me that I need to bring down, so I'm going to bring down my 6. Now I'm saying to myself, how many times does 5 go into 6? Well, 1 time, again. 5 times 1 is 5, so I'm going to subtract 5, end up with a 1, and I'm going to bring down my 5. Now, how many times does 5 go into 15? 3 times. 5 times 3 is 15. So my final answer here is 565 divided by 5 equals 13. Again, I can check that by multiplying 113 times 5. And I get 565, so I know I have the right answer. I think that is it for dividing by a one-digit divisor.